Well, hello, everybody. Look at all your faces. Stacy Frank, I'm not glad you had surgery, but I am so glad I get to see you during the day. It's fun to at least get to hang out with people for a little while, right? Good. We're going to give everyone just a second because, as y'all know, most people show up at like the 12:03 mark. I'm trying to make sure my AirPods aren't connecting to this, and all of a sudden you won't be able to hear me. You're going to want paper. You're going to want a pen. You're going to want something to write down with. And I say that because I have like 3 pages of notes on this exact topic. But since y'all are early, you get to vote, or I guess y'all are right on time now, but you get to vote. Do you want to hear my story about signing up for Plexus? I can see your faces and most of y'all know my story. But usually on the masterclass, we start with somebody's sign up story. So you're welcome. If you want me to tell you the quick version or intentional like part, like tell me about how this worked, put that in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to dive straight into our topic for today, and then we can do Q&A. I will tell a story, Brandy. I love it that we have new people. So if you've been here for a while and you're like, I've heard this story 700 times, just see if maybe a new part of it resonates with you. And if you can identify someone in your funnel right now or someone that you're like, okay, I do need to talk to so-and-so. So my story starts 10 years ago this month. I saw someone holding their pink drink. Do y'all remember when every single time you saw a pink drink, it was in a water bottle? It was like in someone's Dasani or store brand or whatever plastic water bottle. We didn't have Stanley cups. We didn't have cute little frosted Healthish bottles. We put sticks of pink drink directly into the, water bottle of the day. And so I saw someone holding their, plastic water bottle with their pink drink in it. And she was standing in a bikini. And I thought there's 2 parts to this. One, is that pink drink going to make me that skinny and make me want to stand in a bikini in a picture? And 2, there's got to be something funky in that drink if it's going to make you that skinny that fast. And so was anybody else a skeptic the very first time they saw a Plexus post? The very first time you saw Plexus pop up on your feed, were you skeptic? Because I was. And so that was March. April goes through. I see a couple more friends posting about it. May goes through, same thing. But I have no idea what it is. I just keep seeing this pink drink popping up. No one's explaining it. No one's educating anybody. Everyone's just saying drink pink and it'll essentially make you skinny. And I was like, just not feeling it. Might as well go to the gas station and get a Rockstar, or go to, Sonic and get a Dr. Pepper. And I already gone through the ephedrine phase of my weight loss gimmicks. I'd already gone through, mini thins and Zinedrine and everything else you could not need to take as a early 20s. And, but then Rosalind Payne posted about it, and Roz had been my boss at that point. I don't know how far. Roz was my boss 22 years ago. So I guess at that point, it was like 12 years before that. She was my boss. She was a few years older than me. It kind of always been like a mentor, big sister, someone I just like, that like no trust factor, where I liked her, I knew her, I trusted her. And she posted about it, which floored me, one, because I never saw her doing network marketing. Although I think I had bought some like soup company from her, like at one point that I think a friend of hers was selling. But she was someone that you were like, okay, if Roz is sharing about this, there's something legit here. And so I messaged her. I was in a car in the passenger seat on the way home from a family vacation. And I just messaged her and be like, dude, you're drinking this stuff too? You have a heart condition. Tell me more about it. Thinking it was like an energy drink. And I knew when I was her assistant, she'd had her son and had heart surgery. So I knew that she couldn't be drinking like energy drinks and stuff. She was like, yeah, it's approved by my cardiologist. And actually some of the ingredients that are in these Plexus products, like Colton's naturopath was already giving us and said, take these combos instead that Plexus has instead of the individual ingredients, like what I'm giving you. And she's like, so it's kind of a legit thing. She'd been really skeptical too. So she was literally telling me like, it's actually legit. And I was like, okay. I was like, sign me up as a customer. Did anybody else start up as just a customer? Like like signed up as a customer. Back then, like some people got signed up as brand ambassadors and some people came in as preferred customers. I was a preferred customer with the expectation I would never become an ambassador. Like I was never allowed. Backstory, ran up a credit card, thousands of dollars doing a network marketing company before. The network marketing company never really panned out, and yet my credit card bill was still there. I had so much product in my house that we still found 10 years later. I think my mom still has the little gold bag that all of our products came in. Yeah, almost 17 years ago, 18 years ago. So I was not to sell network marketing. I was only to buy from all of my friends. And so I bought from Roz. And 2 months later, I got blood work done and it was spectacular. I had Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune thyroid disorder. And they were trying to diagnose me with all kinds of things at the time. I was getting tested for Lyme's and lupus and fibromyalgia, which is more of like a diagnosis of everything else doesn't quite check out and you still feel crappy. So we're going to go ahead and put this label on you. They were just trying to figure, I was getting the flu at seasons where like the Dallas Health Department called me and said, can you tell me where all you've been and how you got this flu this time of year? I'm like, no. So it was like everything was falling apart in my body. I started the products, got blood work done, and it was amazing. And I was like, I called Roz and said, okay, this weird pink drink thing that you gave me seems to be doing really well for my blood work. What else do y'all have? I might as well buy, products from you instead of Whole Foods or GNC or the Vitamin Shop. She's like, well, we have a probiotic and we have this product called BioCleanse, which keeps you regular. And we have a multivitamin. And y'all, that was about the entire list of our product line at the time. And I was like, well, I'll try those. I knew that my daughter, who at the time was 7, who has cerebral palsy, needed a probiotic because she had chronic urinary tract infections. And she was on a prophylaxis antibiotic. So she took an antibiotic every single day for like 4 or 5 years. And no probiotics for fixing her UTIs. I knew that she needed to go to the bathroom every single day, and we were having to use enemas every single day, along with gloves and creams, just to get her to go to the bathroom every day. Like it was horrific. Since there's all women on this call, there was tearing involved. Like this poor little 7-year-old girl who already has brain damage was just getting like probably traumatized by the amount of things we were having to do to get her to go poop every day. And then oral feeding wasn't a great thing for her. So a multivitamin was really intentional or essential. And so we were intentional with those 3 things. 24 hours later, she pooped on her own for the first time since she was like 2 or 3. And without mom and dad needing to intervene, which was glory, hallelujah. And then within a couple of months, her urologist called and said, hey, we haven't seen you. Like, is everything okay? They kind of thought maybe she had passed from one of her seizures because she kept having seizures because of the UTIs. And we're like, no, we're great. Like, we don't need to come in. We don't need to get capped. We don't need anything. And so we were really on like a journey to health at that point. So that was August. Ella started the products. And by the end of November, I talked my husband into the I think it was $34.95 membership fee to become a brand ambassador. I was like, if nothing else, we'll save $35 on just the price difference between preferred customer and brand ambassador. That was a decade ago. We've since improved our sign up stuff since then. And so I thought we would save the $35. And I thought like 3 friends. This is what I really thought. I thought I'd have a couple of friends that would try the probiotic. I'd have a couple of friends that would try the pink drink. We didn't have active and hydrate and lean. We did have something called P96, which was nothing nearly, couldn't even touch lean. And I just thought I would have a couple of friends, buy a couple of things. And if I covered the cost of our products and maybe made $100 on top of that, I would be golden. I didn't have to buy inventory. I didn't have to host parties. I could talk about it on social media where I was already talking about my entire life. I just laughed. I just screenshot something I wrote. Golly, I think it was, I'm going to look real fast just because I'm standing here talking to y'all and I can tell you whatever I want. 14 years ago, I was talking about a pizza place downtown. Like I shared everything. I shared places I love to eat. I shared hacks that were working for us. I just shared life. And so I shared about this. Y'all may know my sister, Sarah Stewart, is on here. She's listed as the Table Jewels. So she's the pretty one of the ponytail. She gets ready. I don't. Every family has 2 different people, right? And we are the 2 different people in our family. And so Sarah was my first customer. She saw that I was giving it to Ella. She was like, Well, if Andrea was just taking it, maybe not. But since she's giving it to Ella, these must be legit products. And I talked about anxiety, gut health and anxiety, which was Sarah's story. It was not my story. It was somebody else's story I shared. And Sarah went, whoa, that's me. Not the weight loss, not the mom brain, not the Hashimoto's, not all this other stuff. That was someone else's story I shared. Sarah was like, gut health and anxiety, I can get on board with that. That's what I need. And so she immediately signed up. I had to call Roz and say, why did I just get an email about getting money? I don't know what, no one warns you, right? When you get that first email, no one's like, hey, you're going to get this great email. It's going to say all these things. You just get an email and you're like, what does that mean? Kind of happens the whole time we're working the business is, little things happen and we're like, what does that mean? And so since Sarah signed up and she went ahead and went silver, I think before she ever even tasted the pink drink, she was living in Houston. I was in Dallas. She didn't even taste the pink drink and she was already signing people up because she was like, this seems really legit and really good and everybody needs it. So she went silver. And that's when I kind of got the idea of like, okay, I need to tell some people. Like I was already telling people on social media, but I needed to tell a mom in chapel. I needed to tell some people that I was doing life with. And so we were off to the races. I think between the two of us, our team signed 17 people in my first full month. So I signed up on November 30th. So from December 1st to December 31st, our team signed up 17 people. It wasn't anything magical, Sarah or I did. Neither one of us fast started anything because it was even a program that we were aware of back then. We weren't going for massive bonuses or an iPad. We were truly excited to tell everyone that there was a probiotic out there that actually worked, that there was a pink drink that could regulate your blood sugar and you could feel amazing and not be drinking soda all day. We were excited about the products and we didn't even talk about the business except maybe you can make $50 or $100 if you help 3 friends get started. We didn't have referral links. That wasn't even a thing. Affiliate link wasn't a verbiage back then. There was pure excitement. And by the way, complete unknowledge of how to explain Probio5 or BioCleanse. I couldn't have told you the difference in the two at this point. And you know how sometimes there's almost like a childlike faith in different things that you do, or an excitement that you're like, I can't even tell you why I'm excited. I'm just excited. That's how we felt about Plexus. We didn't assume anybody would be mean about it. We didn't assume people would care if we shared it and they didn't like it. We were like, okay, you don't want it. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I've told you all this before, but I share about Ruggables all the time in our Lovesac couch, which currently have 2 cushions missing off of it because they're getting washed, and our rugs go to the laundromat once a month to get washed. And I share about them all the time. If those things that I share about, if you're not like, oh my gosh, tell me more, it does not hurt my feelings. I will share because there's one mama out there that's just looking for a washable couch and a washable rug. And so I share. And the rest of y'all are not messaging me going, I can't believe you're sharing about that. How rude to make $10 off of Lovesac if someone buys a couch, from your link. Y'all never even thought that, I bet. So we just shared because we loved it. And I think 6 weeks in, I went gold again with the help of Sarah, and I think Ellen Ford was signed up by then. Then following month, we went senior gold. I think Becky Page was in, and actually sharing at that point, Rachel Neagle, quickly after I went to Super Saturday, and she saw me show up at an event. So when you show up at events, whether it's momentum meetups, whether it is parties, whether it's just a get together with other Plexus ambassadors, or whether it's convention, I promise you, as you show up at things, people are watching and going, okay, she's serious. That's the kind of person I want to partner with. And Rachel was looking for someone in Plexus to partner with. And we only mildly knew each other because her sister has CP, my daughter has CP. And so we'd mildly followed each other. And she messaged and was like, okay, you actually look serious. I want to partner with you out of the blue. And so she and Becky were college roommates. So we were all teamed up together and we were off to the races. More people joined, more people caught the vision. Some people caught the vision for a short period of time and continue to take their products now, but caught the business vision because they just kind of thought it was fun for a while. Some people have caught the vision and done it for years and years. When did you sign up? I'm just curious, wherever you are in the business, what year, month, or whatever did you sign up? It's like Stacy Frank is on here. I think Stacy, did you sign up 2016, 2017? Because I always think you've been here longer than you have. And she's probably like, yeah, I feel like I've been here with you longer than I have too. But okay, I'm looking. 2017, I love that. 2019, a lot of people like in the last few years. 2015, Roxy, I love that. But Keats, just since 2016, really. Yeah, Aaron, 2015. I love, see, these are fun for me. I get to go, oh, wow. I feel like some of y'all have been here since like day one almost. Okay, so that's my story. You can ask me any question about my story. You can ask me what I thought about anything. You can ask me how I got over anything, any of those things, but we'll save the Q&A for the end. I'm going to get through something that I learned a couple of weeks ago. And if what I'm about to talk about is interesting to you, I just listened to Brittany Howard do a podcast on it, which is why I was like, why haven't we talked about this yet? So we're going to talk about how to get things done and really how anything gets done. So if you've already heard about this, great. If you haven't heard about it, I'm just going to literally give you 45 minutes, probably like 30 minutes on it, and then we'll do Q&A. And I want you to listen to Brittany's podcast, but I also want you, I'm going to figure out which Henry Cloud book this is in. He gave us like 4 books when we were with him a couple of weeks ago. And I cannot remember which book this is contained, but I will find out for you. He actually gave us this book real fast. This is a plug. See, I like to plug things. If you have a hard time trusting someone specific in your life, having nothing to do with Plexus, if you have lost trust with someone, either you've lost the trust or they've lost trust in you, or you have a hard time trusting uplines or downlines in the business, which the longer you're here, the more trust will be broken and needs to be mended over years of just doing any business. This is an incredible book. It says it comes out March 28th, which is in 8 days. So you might want to pre-order this. It's by Dr. Henry Cloud. I'm just saying, if you have ever broken trust with someone, either they have broken it with you and you struggle to not even forgive them, just retrust other people. It's called Knowing When to Give It, When to Withhold It, How to Earn It, and How to Fix It When It Gets Broken. It's just such a good book. I'm like almost halfway through and it rocked my brain. Okay. Here we go. I just got a notification from compliance that I posted something not compliant. So yay. If you ever get those, like that's literally how I feel about it. I'm like, oh, I'll go in and fix it in a minute. So never take those things personal. I just assume I probably did something I wasn't supposed to do. And instead of asking permission, I'm going to ask for forgiveness. So there we go. So this is how anything gets done. And this is the first thing I want you to do on your piece of paper. And I would love it if you had the ability to turn your video on. Like this is the part where we're going to actually do it together. I know I've been talking a lot for the last 17 minutes, but we are going to do the next 30 minutes together. So I don't have makeup on. I've got mascara under my eyes. I haven't brushed my teeth. We can do this together. We can look bad together. Okay. First thing I want you to do is to write a line. This is me teaching. To write a line just across your sheet of paper. And all you're going to do is you're going to start with the word here on this side, and you're going to put the word there on that side. So you're literally going from here to there. So I would go left to right. It's totally up to you, whichever way your brain works. But I would start with here. Where are you right now? And at the other side of your piece of paper. And if you are someone who writes big and you need to go this way with your little line and right here and there, because you're going to write all kinds of stuff in between, then you do that. I am both a need to write across the line, and I need to take the bullet points of like numbers 1 through 5 or 6. So if you need to write, however you organize your notes. And by the way, no one's grading your notes. So you can literally write it on 7 different sheets of paper and it does not affect me, as long as you will do something with it. Okay, first things first, where you are right now. So I want you to pull up your points from February, and I want you to write down what your points are from February. I want you to pull up what your rank is right now. Do not worry about where you have been, the highest points you ever had, top rank you ever had. Just write down, like without emotion, just where your points were in February. Or if you want to, you can compare February 20th to March 20th. That's up to you. But I would also say, where are you mentally? Like, I'm in a good place. Where are you physically? Um, you know, 10 pounds overweight, just throwing it out there. Where are you just in life? Scattered, disorganized, house is clean, whatever those things look like. I want you to spend, I'm going to give you like 2 minutes just brain dumping where you are in life, both in plexus and in life right now. Okay. I can tell some of y'all are like, I don't know. I'm like right here. I want you to give yourself time to think about it. Like at some point in the next couple of days, like say, I need to really think about where I am right now. Like where are all of my, pieces, parts. Um, okay. Then you're going to go to there. So you're going to go to the other side of your sheet of paper, and you're either going to write it right there, or you're going to be like me and you're going to draw an arrow to all the things that you want next. So I want you to put something that is so if you're here right now and you want to go to there, what does there look like? And it has to be something that doesn't exist for you right now. So it's something totally like, what are you going to do along, like we'll get to how do you get there, but what is there for you? I need you to dream big, like stupid big, like may never happen, but we're going to make it happen kind of stuff. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Okay. I would love for someone to share one thing that is you're there. So, Dr. Cloud gave us the option of like saying, I see a day where this happens, where I am this, where this is our family, or this is possible. So would anyone be willing to unmute and say, I see a day? Okay, go, Jillian.
Okay, so mine is I see a day where I get to host a jewel retreat for my team, and as well as a gem retreat and a gold retreat where I get to pay for it, but my team gets to earn it. And then as well, that would also be supporting one of my dear, dear friends who does international trips to other countries that are like sacred spiritual tours. So my team would also get to connect more deeply with themselves.
I love it. Okay, where would be the one place? Like if you could pick right now, you're going to take 5 of your jewels on a retreat because they've all earned whatever. Where is somewhere you would love to take them?
The ultimate dream is Egypt. Because
Okay.
I've done one to Peru, and now this Wednesday I'm actually going to Mexico, so I'm going there as well. But Egypt is like one that has been like on my mind for like the past year. So I'm like, that would be the ideal trip, I think.
So I think what you need to do is recruit 5 people that want to go to Egypt with you. Like it's
Yeah.
almost like bigger than people that want to, make $100 extra or $500 extra or go diamond. You need to recruit 5 people that want that want you to get to a place where you can actually take them on that type of trip. Like lay it out, like plan it out, just because the more you plan it, the more you're like, I can see so and so here. I can see so and so. And this is the kind of people, these are the kind of people I want to take on that trip with me. But you have to start recruiting them now before they even are, there yet. So, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Because then you're going to help them do their here to there. Like they're going to start out a stay-at-home mama with, 2 kids who can't see herself in Egypt and go, okay, I'm putting Egypt on the there. I don't know how I'm getting there. And then you're going to walk them through how you're going to get there. Do y'all see how you're there is bigger than diamond? You're there is bigger than the number of points that you have. Like Jillian, that was a perfect example of something bigger that does not even exist yet. Like it doesn't exist. Like the people may not even exist on your team yet that you're taking. And same thing for your jewels and your gems. Like go ahead and plan like a gems trip. Like maybe it is to Mexico or Canada or, I think Bethany Spear just took some people to Florida. Like you can pick wherever you want to go, and you can start out small, but I think dreaming big is massive. So thank you. So that was like perfect. Thank you. Okay. So I want y'all to each keep working on, and y'all, this is evolving. Like I will say, like there's weeks where I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my there. I didn't even know it was my there 2 weeks ago. And I've been praying like, God, show me what my there looks like now. I could have told you what it was 3 years ago. It's totally different. I mean, 6 years ago, or 7 years ago, I'd have told you it was this house. We live in it. It's a disaster. So we're there. I did not picture it quite as difficult to clean as it was in my dreams of there. So just know you might get spit on it by a camel, Jillian, when you get to Egypt and you weren't planning on that. Just go ahead and put that on the list of things that will happen when you get there. And the road from here to there will be rocky and bumpy. And like if I take my here of starting of, let's say, being, Ruby to where I am now in my business, I would have at Ruby, I think, or senior gold is when we started saving for this house. And now we live in the house. I would not have thought my husband lost his job. I wouldn't have really thought we were going to, move, to where we are. There's all these things along the way that you won't expect. So just go ahead and plan. Like there will be 1,000 detours between here and there. Y'all know that graphic that's like, everyone thinks growth looks like this and really growth looks like this. And like, so true. Okay. And if you've watched your points over, I don't know, the last 5 years, you probably feel like that. You're like, oh, that's what growth looks like. There's a good chance that they're at least different than they were when you started. The day you started, I promise your points are higher than the day you started. Okay. The first thing you need to get from here to there is vision. I know that sounds so crazy, but you need to know what you're looking at. You need to draw it out. You need to have like a game plan. Like what Jillian gave you is like a vision for what this could look like. I want to take, and she'll make up the number, her own number, 5 people to Egypt. Now, what does that vision actually look like for a team? It looks like people that have grit, people that are determined, people that love to travel. Like, don't find a homebody if you're going to take her to, to Egypt. That doesn't mean she can't go diamond on your team, but that's just not one of your 5 people that's going with you on that trip, unless you can cast a vision for that trip for her. And do you see how casting a vision for that Egypt trip is the same exact thing as casting a vision to Ruby? You're literally showing someone what is possible, what you're going to do along the way, what you're going to do when you get there. When we go Ruby, let's go to the spa for the day. Let's spend $100 on each other. Let's spend $100 on ourselves and go get a massage. Or let's be honest, massages now are like $300. But you know what I'm saying? Like, cast a vision for yourself for what that looks like. Like, start laying out all the details. Between here and there, all the things that I need to do are this. All the things I want to do are this. I want to earn Leaders Retreat. I want to earn the gala for convention. My vision is I'm going to have 6 people that I'm bringing with me, along the way in the next year. Without, vision, the people perish is literally like, without vision, the team will perish. If your team doesn't know where you're going, then your team won't follow you. They have no idea. Like, you're hiking up a trail and they're like, we're just walking on rocks. Like, we have no idea where we're going. You haven't laid it out for us. You haven't told us where the summit is. You haven't told us what stops we're taking along the way. Anybody else like details when someone invites you to an event? When someone invites me to an event, I'm actually really annoying with corporate, because I'm like, okay, but what are we wearing? But like, where is it? But like, what are we eating? Like, I need to know all the things. I planned an event for church one time, and y'all, while we were selling tickets, we were giving out the menu. While we were selling tickets, we were telling them like what the centerpieces would look like. I was telling women exactly what at each budget what I would buy or wear, or what I would have their husbands wear. I was giving them babysitting ideas for like how to afford babysitting along the way, because I love that kind of stuff where someone's like, give me all the things. I'm going to be like, you know what? We just never really got a babysitter. I already fixed your problem. I fixed your problem 3 weeks ago. And so you have no reason to not buy a ticket to our event at church. And so if you're that kind of person, like, are you telling someone like, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and it's going to be like this, and we're going to meet these people, and we're going to go here. The more details you give yourself, the more details you can give your team, the more likely they are to catch the vision. When Sarah and I started, our vision was, you'll feel better. When I went to Super Saturday, my vision was like, oh, this is a business, like a real business. By the time I got to convention, my vision was, other people's lives will be changed because I decided to not stop sharing, because I decided to not care when 2 people hurt my feelings bad, but I didn't care because I was changing lives. And I wasn't changing lives like my friends were making millions of dollars. I was changing lives like my friend could now go pick up her daughter from daycare in the afternoon because she didn't need to take on one more client. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, little things. Like, it wasn't like immediately people's lives were going from like gray to bright sunshine. It was like they could just see a glimmer around the clouds. So vision is massive. Okay, second thing. So you've got vision, you know where you're going. 2, you have to engage the talent. And I think this is multifaceted in our world. 1, for Jillian, she's going to have to go find out who the talent is. It's going with her to Egypt, right? So wherever you're going is there. You have to figure out who is going to help you get there. Now, this is what Dr. Cloud said. It might be a babysitter. It might be a mother-in-law. It might be, a friend that you share, brain power with. Your talent might be a podcast that you are enlisting for free to help walk you through some mindset thoughts you have. It might be something like Kristen Boss does something called the Social Selling Academy. That's $1,000 investment to have someone group coach you with other people. But that might be something that you're like, this is the talent I need to enlist to actually get me from where I am right now to there. I am not telling you need to go spend $1,000. I'm just saying, and I think it's actually more than that now, but I'm just saying you have to decide, how do I get from here to there, and what will it take? Who will it take to actually help me along the way? Is it a maid that you're like, not going to pay for a maid, but if I can pay her $50 a week to come do this stuff, I can make an extra $200 a week because I'm actually using that time to work. Whatever it is. It's so funny. Kristen Boss just started a live video. So I'm pretty sure we're on the same page thinking about each other right now. Okay, I'm going to read my actual notes. Find someone ahead of where you, I wrote this to myself. Find someone ahead of where I am right now that will pull me up. So you need to put on your list someone in this business who is ahead of where you are. It may be one step ahead, it may be a couple of steps ahead, who, whether they know it or not, so you don't actually have to talk to them on a daily basis, they are pulling you up. Right now, Brittany Howard, I guess, is ahead of me. I think she's a star ahead of me. Maybe we're both three stars, I'm not sure. But she's mentally way ahead of me on personal development. And the girl is pulling me up every day and she doesn't even know it because I'm listening to her podcast. The next thing I wrote is peers that need to come alongside and push each other. So you might find someone at your same rank or at your same points where you ended in February and say, okay, we're going to push each other. I'm just going to tell you, if you're going to ask someone to be your accountability partner, you better be pulling your own weight. You better be like encouraging them and doing the thing. Like, you better not be the one that holds the other person back or drags them down. So if you're going to be accountability partners with someone, if you're going to say, hey, let's be accountability partners with each other, I want to challenge you to be the better, whoever you are. I don't care if Stacey and Christy are accountability partners with each other. Whoever's accountability partners, you need to be the better accountability partner at all times. Because if you're always trying to be the better accountability partner, do y'all see how you're constantly like moving up because you're like, I'm going to be better. No, I'm going to be better. No, I'm going to be better. Could you imagine if someone was if you were competing with your husband every day to give better gifts or to better acts of service around the house? Your house would be so clean, or you'd have the best gifts because you're constantly trying to outdo the other person, but for like a good reason. Like, that's good, kind of healthy competition, I think. Unless you're a crazy competitive person who you might always be like, boom, I got you. And they're like, yeah, I don't want to play this game anymore. But for the most part, if you're trying to be the better accountability partner, then you're actually raising the leadership lid of the person you are partnering with. Okay, I'll say this. In pretty much every group I'm in, I want to be the one that adds the most value, the one that always makes sure I'm doing whatever is asked of me, like maybe a little bit more. And I want people to walk away going, okay, I'm really glad that Andrea was in that group. Like, I'm going to tell y'all, my son is a basketball player, my middle son. He's 6'6" and 15. So that in and of itself seems like he'd be a great basketball player, but he's not very athletic. And he's on a team of the top freshman athletic basketball players in Dallas Fort Worth area. Like, they're incredible. Like, my husband is literally jaw on the floor every time he sees these boys play. Will is not the most athletic, nor will he ever be. Like, not on the list of things he'll do. But what he does really, really well. Nobody else on that team, can be 6'6", and nobody else on that team can have the IQ that he has on the court. No one else talks as loud and as clearly as he does on defense. No one else is doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, the skills that he has. Now, is he going to be the top scorer? No. Is he going to be the top rebounder? Possibly, because he's under the basket. Is he going to be the best dunker? No, even though he's one of the tallest ones, he's not going to be the best dunker. There are incredible athletes on this team, but he does what he does really, really well. And he's super encouraging. I mean, when you come off that court, of all 12 boys, if they've all done their best, their true best, that team will win every single time, because individually they're really good. Collectively, they're incredible because they all do different things. And I want to encourage you, if you are on a team, if you're on a chat, if you are leading, you do what you do really, really, really well, and then let other people do what they do really well. And you may do other things like recruiting okay, or you may do retention okay, but you may do leadership incredibly. Do those things all at the best of your ability, and together as a team, I promise you, you will win. You will lose some games. You will win overall. Okay. So that's engaging talent. Third area. Oh, I told you I was going to do this in 30 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to finish. And strategy. You have to have a plan. This is my skill set. I love strategy and planning. Okay. In the chat, is strategy your skill set? Just say strategy yes, or strategy no. And don't be modest, like be honest. Like, yeah, I can look at something and say, here's how I'm going to do it. Here's how I'm going to execute. Tomorrow they come out with a new product. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I don't know if it'll be great, but I know what I'm going to do. Okay, Bib says no. The Bib does do some things really well, and then she knows who to partner with for strategy, don't you, Bib? Yes. Getting better at it. I love that, Salcido. Okay. Most people actually think they're not good at strategy. I would say what I would wonder is, are you not good at strategy, or you're not good at problem solving? Because I think sometimes what you need to do to be good at strategy is to just be a problem solver. I think you, and what's interesting is probably as a mom or as a friend or as a sister, you can solve everybody. People come to you and go, oh, I don't know what to do. And you're like, I know exactly what to do. You're going to do this, and you're going to say this, and then you're going to send this email. And if she writes back and says this, you're going to do this. Like, some of y'all are problem solvers for other people. And yet when it comes to your own brain, you get into the I don't knows, which we've started telling our children they're not allowed to respond with. Like when we ask our kid, like, why did you do this? I don't know. Nope. You can't, that you're going to sit here until you come up with a reason, because I don't know is lazy. It is a laziness, or it's like, I'm embarrassed to say, so I'm not going to tell you. But in your business, I don't know is actually like, I don't know the best way. I'm going to look at Erin Bibb because I love her. I don't know the perfect way to do this, so I'm not going to do it. And I'm going to wait for someone else to tell me the perfect way, the one that's working for everybody else. And then I'll do that. But if I come up with it myself, it may not be perfect and it might not work. So I'm not going to, and then I've wasted my time, which really what you've done is you've expanded your brain. You've gone, oh, this didn't work. Okay, this doesn't work. Okay, this post doesn't work, because now I've just encouraged a bunch of people to do something in the middle of the month that I really want them to do at the beginning of the month. So you know what? Next time I'm going to wait and do that post at the beginning of the month, and I'm going to do something different. Or that conversation, the way I ended that business ask with that person, they just answered no. So I need to figure out a different way to end a business ask, because that didn't work. And if every time you're getting better, it doesn't matter if you did it wrong, because you will continue to get better. And here's how I was doing business asks today, and I messaged, here's how I'm ending these. Are you open to talking about building something kind of amazing here? And I just want her to lean in, and she may say, I'm not interested at all. But before that, and do not write down those words. I want you to come up with the words that are authentic to you. I made myself send 3 business asks today without copy pasting a single thing and without duplicating anything. I specifically messaged Stephanie, Caitlin, and Katie all about them, what I saw in them, why I was messaging them, the fact that I want to go on trips with them. These are the people, Jillian, I would want to take to Egypt with me. They're incredible. I told them why they were so incredible, what I saw in them, and then asked them if they would be open for me to just talk to me about what this is, not to listen to a call, not to watch a video, just to like throw back and forth questions and answers, and just like, tell me more about what you're thinking, what you've thought in the past, how I can kind of, and then I would love to invite you to the call tonight. The Real People, Real Stories call, again, from last Thursday, is live tonight, although it's last Thursday's call at 8:30 Central. So if I get the chance to have these conversations back and forth with them today, I'll invite them to that call tonight. If not, then we'll continue with a different way. But if you don't have a strategy, which a winning day worksheet is a strategy, it's a piece of a strategy. Customer care is a piece of strategy. You have to have a plan. And here's a great thing. If you message, Jillian, if you message one of your 5 people that you are like, girl, you are going to Egypt with me whether you want to or not. I'm going to make you want to be there so badly over this next year that within a year from now, you are on my team and you have your own vision, your own strategy, your own plan. And what was I going to say? Oh, dang it, I lost my train of thought. It was so good. But as you're messaging them, I want you to just go, okay, oh, here's what it was. What do you do with her if she says, yeah, I'm all in? Like if she messages you back right now and you message her and are like, hey, you think you're open? She's like, I've been dying to talk to you about this. I want all in. I want everything that you're sharing that everybody else is doing. Do you know what to do with that person? Like that is a strategy and a plan. You need to sit down today and not say, I don't know what to do. You're going to go, okay, if Beth messages me back right now, what will I do? What will I send her? Will I get on a Zoom with her? Will I call her? What will I do? I don't know. What if she says, I'm not interested right now? Then what will I do? Like, you have to have a strategy and a plan for all, what's that called? Where you're like planning for all circumstances, but it's called something else. Like a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D for every conversation. Because the more plans you have, the more likely you are to like send those messages. You're like, I know exactly what I'm going to do with her. Even if she says this, I know what I'm going to say. If she says this, I know what I'm going to say. If she says this, hallelujah, I know exactly what we're about to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have all of your scenarios ready to go. Okay. I'm going to finish, I promise. 4. What is I wrote down the words, but it's not making sense now. Okay. Yes. Okay. Measure, like have measurements and accountability. So you have to be able to say, okay, by the 20th of next month, I want to be here. So you have measurement things. Like, does that make sense? Like, in our business, it's really easy because there's numbers involved. It may be, I'm going to have 6 new customers by the end of the month, and one of those customers will be interested in the business. I'm going to have 6 new customers by the end of the month, because y'all, we have to do 6 customers this month. Everyone gets an iPad with 6 customers. Like, for the love, let's try really hard. All of you people that used to have great PV, and now you're like, I don't know how to get a customer. I'm like, it's the same thing you did before. Maybe you have one customer that's a ProBio 5 customer and they don't count for the incentive. They still matter. So let's go out and get customers. But do they know that they can make an income with this business? Let's find out. So you have to have measurables. 6 people this month, 1 person that wants to go silver. Sarah and I were talking earlier. She's at 5, almost 6 customers this month, but she already has someone that does want to go silver. So it's balancing all of those things of measurables, and you have to have goals. Like, if you want to go ruby by the end of July, let's just say, what is it actually going to take? What do you need to end in March? Then where do you need to end in April? Then where do you need to end in May and June? So that in July, ruby is easy. You're like not at 500, you're like at 550. Does that make sense? Like, what are your measurables along the way? And then who's going to hold you accountable to those? Because we can all write measurables down, but then are we actually being held accountable to them? And the more detailed your measurables are, the more likely someone is to hold you accountable. If Sarah says, hey, I need to add my 6th person today, I promise you 5 times today, I'll message her and be like, how's it going? What's her name? What's the status? Oh, she ghosted you? Have you said this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can have that back and forth conversation. She said, I want to help this person go silver. These are all the things that are going on in their lives. I know everything that's happening in the life of the person Sarah's helping go silver. So I can message her and be like, hey, did you have a conversation about this? Well, no, I haven't had. Okay, you need to go send that message, because I know her measurable. I know who her measurable, like the names and the heart behind that measurable. So we're going with vision and strategy then. And then we can continue to move forward in the next thing. Waving to my male person. Okay, so that was 4. And number 5 is you have to learn to fix and adapt. And that's where we talked about that growth chart that goes all over the place. Did you evaluate the last few messages you sent and said, ooh, what went wrong? What did I do right? What do I need to do better next time? Every single day. If your points are not better on March 20th than they were on February 20th, I want you to sit down and say, what am I doing right? Like, what have I done really well over the last 30 days or 28 days? I think it's been. What have I not done? What have I said I would do or told everybody else to do or posted about on social media, but I'm not actually doing any of it. And I promise you, the higher you go in this company, the higher ranking, the higher your points, the bigger your check, the more likely you have areas you are not, you're telling everybody else to do that you are not doing yourself. Just going to tell you. I have to do more evaluation as a diamond than I ever had to do as a silver or gold or a senior gold or even an emerald. I have to do more deeper and more honest evaluations 5 days a week. And they're not pretty. And I want to cry at myself often. And then you have to adapt. You have to fix some things. You have to go, okay, that message wasn't that great. I'm going to fix the next one. But then you have to send the message. You can't just go, I'm going to sit with this for a while and figure out what I want to say to her. You have to evaluate, fix it, and go. Does that make sense? Like you actually have to put feet to like pavement. Okay. I told you I would do it at 12:45. I got to 12:49. So I'm pretty dang proud of myself. And I want to answer questions. I want everything that we talked about or any part of my story or just plexus in general. I want to be able to answer your questions. So this is the perfect time for you to unmute and ask. And I'm not as comfortable with the silence as Becky is. Oh, good gravy. Thank you.
Yes, no.
Okay.
So here's something that I just figured out today, which is really crazy, but I run a charity and I'm a leader, and I am a leader with teaching people about my horses. I'm a leader in my church. I host a Bible study for myself, and I'm a leader. I'm stuck in plexus as being a leader, and I don't know why. I am fully behind the product. I have seen and been a part of amazing testimony, and I'm stuck, and it's crazy. I don't know why I haven't been able to grab the reins as a leader in this when I fully believe in it. So,
two questions. One, what's your rank right now?
I'm at senior gold, but my highest rank was Ruby.
Okay. Is there any shame in not being a Ruby right now?
No.
Okay. Do you have any shame in feeling like you're not moving forward?
It's not shame that I feel. I feel more mad at myself about it because my follow-up, and I do know that's where I stink, my follow-up.
Or just where you need to make an improvement. I would just challenge you, like, are you reading a leadership book right now?
No. Well, my Bible.
Okay. And the Bible is a great leadership book. I want to challenge you. Let me see if any of my, okay. I have one called The Servant. Can y'all see my back page? I have one called The Servant Leader, which is not by John Maxwell, but I will find it and I will put this. It's a super short book and it is biblically based. So it's called The Servant Leader. And then there was another one I just read that is biblically based. I think, do you think that you can be what is it, Kristen?
Oh, I was going to say, I'm kind of in the same boat. I feel like as far as leadership goes. And so I'm starting with this one. I think it's kind of basic, maybe not basic, but it's just a good place to start.
21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, I think is what that one's called. And that one is so good. The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell will actually show you where you are as a leader and where you need to go to level up one level. But the book that Kristen showed you is really good because you're like, oh, this is the law of leadership that I'm actually not leaning into. And then you get to evaluate and go, why am I leaning into this law of leadership here at church, but I'm not leaning into it in plexus? Like, where's the disconnect? And then a podcast I would encourage you to listen to is by Brittany Howard, Lead Her Ship. I think it's a longer name, but that's the part I can remember.
I saw that in I think the table it was listed today.
And it is so good. And she references scripture. She really talks about what God's called us to. And I think what would be interesting too, Darlene, is to see if you have a disconnect between what is generally like, if there's a disconnect in pushing in business and like really being hungry in business and not being complacent and comfortable in business, but still being really plugged into what God's called you to. Like if there's a disconnect in any way, like kind of, I just think sometimes we go, I want to be a leader and I want to be a diamond and I want to make this much money and I want to have this many people underneath me that I get. And you want almost like a business, you want to own a massive business, but like, how does that also kind of balance with God like what God wants for me? Like, are those two things compatible? Are they congruent? Like where does that fit? So I would spend some time in leadership, and John Maxwell is a believer. So I would spend time in like leadership books, and I would spend time with the Lord just asking, like, am I giving myself actually a block in plexus because I don't feel like this is actually, like where you like that I can't go all in here and still be obedient. So I would just challenge yourself to ask him, where am I actually blocked on all of this stuff?
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, who else?
Hey, so Andrea talked about me being the Enneagram one kind of, it's really weird to me. I don't feel like, if you hear a background, my husband's on a call too. I don't really feel like I hold myself and everyone else to a super high standard that are around me. Not everybody, but people around me. But I don't have a lot of those Enneagram one, like very focused, task driven skills. Like I do strive for perfection, but I am like massive squirrel brain.
I lost you, babe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I talking though before?
You said massive squirrel brain.
Okay. Squirrel brain. Yes. So that's kind of where I am. And so with me being, I worked all last year in the office and now I'm not. And so now I'm trying to find my way. And I remember saying like, okay, I'm going to give myself grace in January, just to kind of come off of a really hard year. And then in February, I was like, okay, hit the ground. But January was a good month for me. And February was a good month of leading, but just not personal business. And so I know that some of it is just like prioritizing and not being, and then I get this like panic, like, oh my gosh, I've let all these people down because I don't follow up with them and I don't do this. And that's, and I love to listen to all the personal development. I could probably quote all the things. I'm telling you, I just need to put them into play. That's where I am.
I think one of the greatest things is actually, okay, so today I kept thinking, I dropped all 3 kids off. This is the day that my husband works at our store. And so I get all the kids to myself, which is just delightful. And so I came back from dropping the last 2 off at school and got home. I was like, okay, I just need to pick up my house really fast and then I can sit down and do my winning day. And then y'all, I started cleaning toilets. Nobody enjoys cleaning toilets. It's not the first task you pick, but I was like, I'm so proud of myself. I'm going to clean toilets. And all of a sudden I was getting kind of a little like, oh, and then I'm going to clean the kitchen, because if I can clean the kitchen, then I can sit down and do winning day. Really, if I was honest with myself, I was avoiding messaging the 5 names I had written down on my winning day because I actually didn't want to send those messages. So what I wonder sometimes is when we say we can't fit it in, or we're not, or we're like getting distracted, is do we actually have a thought about the work? Like, is like, Aaron, if you sat down, if I made you sit down right now and do winning day, what part would you avoid? What part would you be like, oh, I just don't like this word. I'm like totally channeling my inner Aaron, but like, I just don't send that great of messages. I don't really have friends on social media that like I haven't told about it. Like everybody knows. Like, what part are you avoiding? Because that's probably actually the problem, is that you don't know what to do with that part of your work. And so you're actually squirrel braining on purpose. Like you're actually getting distracted with, I could sit here and put my office back together or actually get the stuff together for my taxes. But what I need to do, what moves my bank account forward and moves my business forward and actually takes a huge weight off my day, is to sit down, which I did an hour before this. I did my winning day, which I found a new one that is so simple. I'm going to send it. I'll put it on the table for y'all. It's literally like the most simple little chart. I have all, I've checked all my boxes. I did my 3 business asks, and I'm moving on with my day. And I just think it's really important Now, moving on with my day still means I'm still posting on social media for the rest of the day, y'all. I'm still like, as things come up, I'm still, and a cute picture gets taken, I'm still taking it and putting it on stories or taking it and putting it on Facebook. As a post pops in my head, I'm either putting it in my notes for tomorrow, or I'm going to go ahead and stop right now in the middle of cleaning dishes and post that, because if I don't, I will have squirrel brain. Anybody else lay in bed at night and come up with a great post, and by the morning you're like, that was so great, I have no idea what it was. Yeah. So I actually will like roll over and like write it down in my notes real fast and then go back to sleep, because I can sleep so much better knowing that it's at least like broken out a little bit, like a little bit of my thought is out there, so that the next day I can go in. And I even write down like, post the picture of Ella doing this, because that's what popped in my head. So I just want to challenge you to actually do the things. Like, your check will not grow, your points will not go up, you will not advance in rank, you won't earn the next level of convention contest, you won't earn an iPad, and honestly, you probably won't earn Leaders Retreat if you don't show up every day right now. And by every day, I mean pick 5 days a week. If you are insistent on taking 2 days off, great. I don't take days off of social media. I don't think about it. It doesn't bother me. I probably need more boundaries. I don't have them. So you pick what works for you. If it stresses you out to be on social every day, then just do it 5 days a week. That's a job. That's how we get paid. I promise you, if you want to get paid like this is a job, you need to actually work it like a job. That may be 10 hours a week. Someone earlier was like, I'm doing 30 minutes. I was like, that's awesome. If you can do 30 minutes, 5 days a week of solid reach outs and conversations, and the hardest parts about what we do, I think, are reach outs and follow-up conversations. I would challenge you to that, Erin. I would challenge you that when we got the call today, or at some point today, do you find yourself going, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make the bed really fast, which is important to some people, not to me, but it's like, I'm going to do this because it's important, when really you're avoiding your like plexus, you're avoiding the work. And whatever you're doing probably is important, but will it move the needle on your business if you wait 30 minutes to do that important thing at the house to actually get your business done? Does that make sense? Is that harsh? Sometimes I feel like I'm so harsh. Okay. It's 1 o'clock. We did it. We got to hang out for an hour. I hope that this worked. I'm going to send y'all the book that this is on. I'm going to tell y'all which podcast Brittany is talking about this specific thing in. And Erin, if you reorganize your spice cabinet, instead of signing up 6 people, I'm going to come to Houston specifically for you. Okay. The spice cabinet can wait, guys. Go do your winning day worksheet. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.